Price is everything. Whether you're buying a cell phone, tablet, house, car, or even a gaming PC, and we know things are expensive, and Asus thinks they have something to offer consumers that might help in that regard. And I'm talking about the brand new Asus TUF Gaming T500. This is a TUF Gaming pre-built PC. It's also on the cheaper side, and it comes with a 13th gen Intel processor and an RTX 5060 Ti graphics card. So 5060, which you saw at Computex, that thing showed a lot of great performance, and we have it in-house here with this build. Now, I did see this build at Computex itself. It looks really nice, and it looked bigger for whatever reason. I don't know why, but here it is. It's rather small. I mean, it's like yay high, so to speak, but it has everything you need. Now, let's take a closer look at the hardware itself before we get into what kind of performance we're getting, what kind of gaming we're getting off this. The first thing you notice is that the case looks like your traditional cases that you get from Asus, but I do like the fact that the front end of the case is lifted. You have the TUF Gaming there. Nice little details for something like this. The front of the case, I like the lighting on the front of the case. It just works well on this size footprint. You have TUF Gaming logo on the left, the light strip in the center, 2 USB Type-A ports, 1 Type-C, it's 5 gigabits in the front. And then when we move towards the side, we do have a glass panel window, which of course allows us to see through, and there's LED lighting strips in the build. That's nice. Now, opening that up and jumping inside, we get to see what's in here. First of all, our 5060 Ti graphics card there. It's an Asus card, it's built in. But you also notice there's something different with this board. It's a smaller board, it's a mini RTX board, but it's also a board that supports a mobile processor, and that is the Intel 13620H. Now, the reasoning here with going with this processor is that they're expecting a 38% less power draw in comparison to 13 or 14th gen desktop class CPUs. So that is one of the reasons I went with that, and that's why they paired it with the 5060 Ti. Now, in terms of RAM, you're looking at 16 gigabytes of RAM. For this build, can go up to 64 gigabytes. And then we swing to the back, and we've got 4 ports on our graphics cards. You know, of course, 3 display, 1 HDMI. And then we've got 4 USB ports at the back, and that's pretty much it. 1 Ethernet port. There's also HDMI port on the board itself. The lack of USB Type-C is a bit annoying here at the back of the case, but you do have one in front, but that's also 5 gigabits. So that's something to just take notes. Now, a system like this, audio is very important, whether you connect it via speakers or, in this case, gaming headphones. And that's where the sponsor of our video comes in, Skullcandy, because the brand new Crusher Player 720 is something to behold. Now, I've been using these headphones for about 2 weeks, and I gotta tell you, I personally love them. Whether this was sponsored or not, I will tell you any day of the week, these rock. Now, I'm a big fan of the Player line, and the first time I covered them was about 11 years ago, which says a lot. I'm glad it's still around, and the build quality of the Crusher Player 720 looks absolutely stunning. Skullcandy logo at the very top. You've got that Crusher dial here in red, stands out, but I love the overall look and finish of this. Soft headband, allowing you to wear it for quite a while to game. So in terms of battery life, you're looking at about 48 hours if you connect it via the USB dongle, which is a 2.4 gigahertz dongle, but you can be connected to your smartphone and your dongle at the same time, which will give you about 38 hours of battery life. Now, this comes with 40mm acoustic drivers and 25mm Crusher drivers, and I gotta tell you, when you're gaming, and you gotta try this out, playing Doom Eternal, hearing that just metal music and the game, it eats it up. It is absolutely outstanding. And you turn that dial up and you get right into the game. The drivers handle it really well. The soundscape is great. The app also allows you to customize as much as you want with the THX equalizer, also the Crusher bass boost, as well as THX spatial audio with head tracking. This is an awesome gaming headset, and priced at $259. I think this might be just the ultimate hardcore gaming headset for anyone who wants to go deep into their gameplay. So speaking of performance, we ran some benchmarks, and we have our benchmark tests here for you to see from Cinebench, seeing the scores. They are really solid scores, especially for the processor. And we also did TimeSpy Extreme for a GPU, some really good GPU scores as well. But at the end of the day, those are not the scores that matter to you. It's the FPS readings and the gaming performance, because we can run benchmarks all day if we want. They're a good indicator, but it's gaming. And as you know, we like to showcase a couple of games that we constantly are playing, and those games are Marvel Rivals, they are Cyberpunk 2077, Doom: The Dark Ages, Forza Horizon 5, and Black Myth: Wukong. These are the games that I'm testing, and what you're going to see is that I'm going to be playing every single game at its highest settings possible on a 27-inch 1440p monitor that has a refresh rate of 480 Hertz to see what we can get by pushing this as much as we can, right? The 5060 Ti is a really solid card with DLSS 4 support and multi-frame generation, which we'll see as we set up our gameplay. So we start off with our very first game, Forza Horizon 5, right? We're playing at its max settings. You can see the settings on screen. And while driving through on a race, we're getting 170 frames per second, which is great. Smooth gameplay, looks really crisp, very nice. I like the fact that like the performance here is steady, and you see that even increasing the open world environment where you're just driving from place to place in the game, close to about 190, 200. Now we move over to my favorite game currently, Doom: The Dark Ages. Now Doom: The Dark Ages, DLSS 4 is fully supported on here. Playing at its max settings, and we're getting about 270 frames per second in the heat of the battle. And you know Doom very well, and you saw it's a game that basically has a lot of intense action, great audio by the way. And again, I cannot stress how good those Skullcandy Crusher Player 720s actually sound when you're playing Doom Dark Ages. Oh, it is so lovely. But anyway, the performance on here is solid. 270 frames is excellent, which means you're getting really great performance and pushing this as much as possible. Now moving to the meat of the matter, of course, is Cyberpunk 2077. This is a game that tasks a lot of systems. It's gotten better over the years. And our settings at max, we have DLSS and frame generation up to 4x. And we're getting 260 on average, for frames per second, especially while in combat situations where there's a lot of action going on. It peaks up higher to about 280, 290. Great performance here, no slowdowns. I mean, it's at 280. I mean, what else can you ask for, right? So how does a game like Black Myth: Wukong handle, right? This is a game that is graphically intensive and putting at its highest cinematic settings, DLSS, 4x frame generations. We're getting about 144. Good, very good. I mean, you can see the kind of performance you're getting from this. It's really solid. I like the fact that with each game as I play, you see how you can push the performance, especially spending the kind of money you are on a rig like this. And then finally, Marvel Rivals, which a lot of people love. Max settings on the game, DLSS on, frame generation 4, average about 256 frames per second. Feels really smooth to play. Again, that's the constant performance you're getting off this rig. That combination of the 5060 Ti and the mobile chip from Intel on this TUF gaming PC is solid. The one thing I'll say is that when it comes to temperatures, when you touch the glass, it feels a little bit warm, but that's to be expected. It's also a really much smaller chassis. And when the fan noise, it's not that bad. It's a little higher, but honestly, I had the Skullcandy Crushers on, so I really didn't hear much. But if you had speakers on, you still would be fine as well. This is a solid offering. I like the fact that, yes, it's priced at $1,299, but with that, I'm getting an average of about 200 frames per second for every single game that I like to play. And now I know I didn't show you the games that you would like to play, or maybe some of them I play, you guys play, but you can see the kind of performance you're getting here, which means this is a great system to pick up at its price point. Now, in terms of upgradability, there's only so much you can do here. So in terms of the RAM, you can. In terms of the processor, you're locked in with that mobile chipset. So that's something to take note. But this is a solid streaming machine, a solid gaming machine, maybe not so much for editing, but you can do some editing on here as well. But I like what it does gaming wise, and I think a lot of people will like it. Now, the main thing is, I want to know from you guys, do you think the price is worth it at $1,299 with the kind of performance you've seen in this video? That's the main question for you. And if you want to pick up the Skullcandy Crusher Player 720, let me know. I have a link for you down below. I absolutely love that headset. I know, yes, it was a sponsored bit, but it was so much fun. It's now my new gaming headset that I use. So leave your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and always enjoy your entertainment.